All right, so the malicious attachments, why I want to show you this is because I've been talking this whole time about this HTTPS and how it's the end all be all, you got to watch it. Now I'm going to show you how that falls apart too. Because, nothing's perfect in life. There's this malware out there. So I showed you how just now you could get malware from a PDF or you can get it from Flash. Malware can be anything. It's any kind of virus, whatever you want to call it. It's malicious software that ends up on your computer. And it's designed to do a million different things. I mean, it can be designed to go after nuclear reactors. It can be designed to go after your PC to do something dumb. It can be designed to just anything that the criminal wants it to do, it can be designed to do. Well, there's things called that are known as man-in-the-browser attacks. And these are a little bit different than like man-in-the-middle and other types of attacks that are out there. And basically what they do is they target the browser itself and they make the browser itself the vulnerability. And when you target the browser itself, it changes the game completely on everything. So this video here will give you an idea. So here's my hacker email account that I have set up. Now here's our poor victim, and they're just browsing on the internet, and they're gonna go log in to Gmail. Simple enough, they type in they're at Gmail, HTTPS at the top. They type in their login, they type in their password, they're really at Gmail. They go to log in, loading his Gmail up. He's all loaded. Now keep watching the left-hand side of the screen where my email is for my hacker. There it goes, I just got an email, it just popped up. We'll see it in just a second. Come on over. There we go. There's an email that just came to me from me. And it says we got one. And when we click on this one, when we scroll down, you'll see, I think it's at the bottom. Yeah, it's gonna be at the bottom. There it comes. Very bottom, there's their email, there's their password. I was able to capture that information even though they were at a secured site, meaning they went to a site, said HTTPS, everything was green, it was just like it was supposed to, and yet we were still able to get their login and their password. And you go, okay, well, wait a minute, I just spent the last hour going on and on about how you should watch for this HTTPS. The problem is, once malware is on your computer, the game has changed. If your computer is secure, watching for HTTPS makes perfect sense. If your computer is compromised, you can't trust anything anymore. It's kind of like you're walking with beer goggles on. Everything's prettier, I mean, it's just it seems better than it really is, and that's the reality of this stuff. Malware on your computer makes your computer no longer trustworthy, and that's the best way I can put it out there. So you go, okay, what really happened? Well, if you watch really close, when we were logging in this time, the malware actually didn't let this stuff go through to Google. It says Google is where you're at, but when you hit sign in, look at the top, it says it's sending it to strictlyonsecurity.com. The login information was actually first sent to me. Oh, and then it went away. And then we were done. Thank you, good night. And so that was it. I mean, it was just that quick. You don't even notice that, but it happens behind the scenes. What actually happened is the man on the browser, the malware, changed the code. So when the page came up the first time and you were going to hit the sign in button, behind the scenes, it changed the actual link where the actual connection would go to. So when you hit submit, instead of submitting it to Gmail, it submitted it to my site. My site captured it and then passed it on to Gmail. So for you, it's that one extra millisecond hop, but nobody's going to notice that. It's just going to fly by so quick that they'll never even know it happened. And for me, I've now got that information. So now we've captured it, everything's gone good. Now we have their login for their Gmail. Well, login for their Gmail is useful. I always say, like, from a hacking standpoint, if I can steal your email account and gain access to your email, the sky's the limit on all sorts of fun I can have later on. It's just, it opens a lot. But in the meantime, we go, okay, I've got that, but I want money. I want to steal some money from you guys because, well, I got to pay bills and kids and stuff like that. So we go to PayPal. This is your account. Now you go to log back in again. And again, we're behind the scenes. We can do whatever we want here. So now we're going to go ahead and hit login. And if you notice up at the top, it says strictly on security. Then it went to PayPal, because again, it passes those login credentials over to me. So now we're going to have those in a second. We should have, there's the email already popped up on the left-hand side. And when I click on that email, this time, I think it's at the top. Yes, the very, very top there's their login, which is their email address, and there's their password. So now we know how to log into their account. So I go, that's very, very useful, great to have. Now, what do I do with that? Well, of course, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go log into that account, that PayPal account. I'm going to select the spot for send money to friends and family. I'm going to send money to myself because I like to think I'm a friend. And there's my little account. I'm going to hit next. How much would I like? How about $500? Okay, continue. And now it says, do you really want to send the money? Yes, I do. And just like that, I've now sent $500 to myself on their PayPal account. It comes right out of their account. I now have the $500. Now there's a couple problems though that I'm going to run into as a hacker. This is all logged. That information's there, and now they could see that. That's a big deal. Also, PayPal's going to send them an email saying, hey, congratulations, you've just sent $500 to some schmo. And then you're going to go, oh, I didn't send something like that. That's going to be a problem. Fortunately, me being the hacker, I have that man in the browser. I can make your browser show you whatever I want to show you. So while you're logged in, even though I took that money out, it was right there at the bottom, I can make it so that your browser, when you log in and look through your browser shows you this. You no longer see that money there. It just blanks it out and it just wipes it out. And the way I can do that is I can make the code show you whatever I want. I control your browser. So any page you go to, I can manipulate however I want to do whatever I want. So the money just disappeared. So you go, okay, well, that's great. That takes care of that, but what about that email? Well, again, we've hacked their Gmail account. We have access to their email. So all I have to do is log into their email account and go, oh, okay, I don't like to see that. Why don't we go ahead and delete that? And I just delete that one out, and now it's gone, and so now they have no record that it was ever there. And just like that, I have compromised their Gmail, I've got their PayPal, I've got $500, and they're not gonna get anything until a while back when they look in one of their accounts, whichever one I stole it from, whether it was a card or whether it was directly out of their bank. Go ahead. Oh, absolutely, they'll have a record eventually. It's exact, but by the time they figure it out, it'll be too late for them to do anything about it, is the point. Exactly, because all my goal is, I just don't want them to notice it that day. I need enough time to be able to make sure I get the funds into my pocket and can run back to TJ or wherever I'm going to spend my money. So all I want to do is just delay the inevitable, and that's just a matter of time. So clearly malware is really, really dangerous stuff. Once it's on your computer, it can cause so many problems. It's just a mess. What you can do, be wary of any attachment. That's the number one thing. When you receive an attachment, treat it like it's battery acid. Like attachments, I don't care if it comes from your friend, I don't care if it comes from your kids, anything that it's an attachment that comes to you unsolicited, meaning you were not expecting somebody to send this to you, I don't recommend opening it. Call the person up. Hey, I got an email from you. What is this? And they'll either say, I have no idea, or they'll say, yeah, I sent that to you, because most malware is designed to then send email on behalf of the people whoever it's compromised. It'll go into their contacts list and send more emails out to other people and then compromise all those people, and that's how the stuff spreads. URLs, same thing, be very cautious about those. Watch for strange behavior. If your browser starts looking glitchy, if things are looking weird and they don't look like they normally do, that could be man in the browser stuff, trying to change stuff, because there's always little bugs that happen. You can never make the code perfect, so little glitches will show up. If you see something weird on a web page that you've never seen before, if you come to sdccu.com and you logged in the last 2 years and it's always looked this way, and all of a sudden something's like shifted over, or something doesn't look right, like the spacing's off, or an image is blocked out or something, those are signs that something's wrong, and it's rarely going to be the organization, because they're working hard to make sure they've got a really good site. And to my last point, it's not about money. Make sure you remember that just spending money on something doesn't mean now you're secure. Buying the latest antivirus or whatever, that's not the whole problem. The stuff I showed you today primarily comes down to people making mistakes, people doing things that they're just not aware of, people not keeping up with patches. If you're doing these things, you're greatly reducing your risk. Not 100%, but you're helping to make it better than it could be.